I'm Becky Skiles. I'm a partner in Deloitte Digital. I look after our customer strategy and design team for financial services. And also, I've recently taken on the role as CMO. So we're seeing some really interesting shifts in the financial services sector. And I think there are three that I think are really top of mind for me. The first is what was hard is now simple. The second is what used to take years can now be done in weeks, and what used to take weeks can now be done in days. And the third, and I think this underpins everything, is that empathy is more important than ever before. Just to drill into the first one a little bit more, what was hard is now simple. And this is everything from the day-to-day. It used to be really hard to spend 2 hours a day on the central line getting into the city. And now I only have to go from my kitchen to my desk. But also, what used to be hard in terms of aligning stakeholders, agendas, and budgets to get things done is much more simple as we're all focused on one problem, which is trying to get through this pandemic. And what used to take years is now done in months, and what used to take months is now done in days, relates to that. I think because we're all focused on doing the things that are important to help humans at the end of the value chain, to help customers pay their bills, to help people make sure their insurance coverage is up to date, we're making decisions more quickly, but also we're spinning up really innovative solutions much more quickly, whether it's spinning up cloud environments or standing up distributed call center teams. Things are just happening at a pace I've never seen before in my career. And then underpinning all of it, empathy is more important than ever before. It's very easy to turn on the TV or to look at Twitter and see the pain that so many people are going through. And I think as humans, our natural response is to want to help the other humans. And I think we're seeing that come through in financial services in a way that's unparalleled in my lifetime. So I think a lot of things have changed for marketing leaders in the sector over the last few weeks since this pandemic started. Two that really come to the front of my mind are, there's a real focus on how to do more with less. I think we're really in a time of uncertainty, and marketeers are really thinking about how are we going to stretch our marketing budgets to do more things, but also be a little bit more financially conservative. So I think that's one of the biggest shifts we've seen, and I've really heard that from a lot of different areas of the financial services sector. The second one is the real urgent need to respond to human needs. And the focus is much less on, how do we sell a thing? How do we sell a balance transfer, or, make sure that we're getting our share of the mortgage, but really focusing on how we can make sure that people are able to keep the lights on and keep food on the table and manage the anxiety that comes up around financial stress. So I think that's the other thing that we've seen, which is, how as marketeers do we think about delivering real humanity in our messages, real empathy. I think we're seeing some really interesting new customer behaviors and needs emerge from the situation. And I think we expect to see some further things continue to emerge. I think one of the most interesting things we're seeing is a shift in buying behaviors. We are seeing people really do a lot more of their shopping locally and starting to think about how can they give money back to the local economy. And I think, the other thing we're seeing is people unsubscribing from a lot of marketing communications. So I think what we're seeing there from a marketing perspective is the challenge of, how do the big brands reach consumers on the high street where they live with the right message at the right time. And we're certainly seeing a greater degree of anxiety and uncertainty, whether we talk about how long we're going to all be working from home and when are we going to see things starting to open back up, to the extremes of will there be a W-shaped dip, right? Are we going to see this pandemic come back? So I think we're seeing a real need to help people deal with these levels of anxiety. And the third thing that we're seeing is there's a real need to be able to provide the human experience, the human touch at a distance. And I think that's hard for employees. I think it's hard for customers. I think it's hard for all of us. There's only so much humanity you can get through even the best of video conferencing services. So I think we're seeing the customer behavior shift towards more and more desire to close that humanity gap. I think there are a couple of really interesting and impactful things that marketing leaders in financial services can do to help navigate their businesses through the current crisis and help meet these compelling new customer needs, human needs. First and foremost, listen to your customers. Listen to what they're really saying. It's hard in a world where that's not something where you have a direct relationship between human and branch manager or human and relationship manager. So I think it's also about getting really sharp on using data and turning that data into real powerful analytics and actionable insight so that you can truly, as a marketeer, understand what are the compelling trends that are going on in the market. What are customers actually saying? And that's everything from social media listening to your website analytics and beyond. The second thing is that it's important, it's always been important, and it's still important to be able to have a conversation, not a one-way dialogue. And I think trying to figure out how to do that at a distance is a challenge the marketeers need to face into. And I think that's about making sure that your marketing communications aren't a one-way, one-size-fits-all message, but that you're engaging in a real dialogue with your consumers. And I think the last one that all marketeers will be happy to hear is don't stop marketing. It's easy right now in times of uncertainty to say we're going to push pause on our marketing budget because we don't know what to say, we don't know how to say it, and we're afraid of saying the wrong thing. If you listen and you engage in a conversation, it's still important to be out there. It's still important to be in the market. Customers still want to hear from you. They still want the reassurance. So don't stop marketing now. Thank you for listening. If you would like to discuss any of this with me, please get in touch. Thanks again.